Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm Merces and today we're playing more 7 Days to Die. So, let's get started. Okay, so like playing a bit more 7 Days to Die. And in between episodes here I've been doing quite a lot of work, which you might be able to see. So this is a brand new project we started last episode. In last episode we first went and looted this paper mill for paper. I realized actually that I should probably actually want to loot the second one too, because we don't have anywhere near enough paper, but oh well. And then went over to the wasteland here and basically started like tearing it apart is essentially the idea here. The wasteland is actually quite decent for just sort of base resources. You will find firstly quite a lot of like just metal fragments scattered around the place. Pretty good for stone. You'll find like corpses around the place. You can find like dogs and stuff to kill here, which gives you rotten flesh, so they're pretty good for that as well. And just a generic like decent amount of other like resources, which is quite nice to find. The trees actually give you coal, and of course there's quite a lot of wood there as well. Yeah, it's like random corpses like this, giving you rotten flesh. We get one rotten flesh. I guess like they're better for bones actually. And there's like other stuff. So that's one thing, but of course the main thing which actually wastelands give you my opinion is sand. Because crushed stone actually gives you a fairly decent amount of sand actually, which I found out. So in alpha, I think it was alpha 16, I started the idea of basic like biome looting, or like biome tearing apart, which was the actual burn forests. Because they actually gave you both coal and of course this amount of wood. Then in the previous alphas, I basically sort of idea upon like, could you do the same thing with wastelands, just tearing them apart and like, you know, just like basically like dig them up and stuff. And it turns out you can. And it gives you not too bad amount. Another thing as well is the zombie bears. They used to be quite scary. Hello. They're not that scary any longer. You look scary. But yeah, they're not scary. Granted, I don't want to use too many bullets. I'm gonna try one day to actually club one. I actually think I might be able to do it. I kind of think of the fact I can probably jump over it and like be able to sort of just dodge the bullets. Like he did hit me once, but only for like 15 damage. So I can take like 10 hits from him with relatively few problems. And in that time, I'm pretty sure I will have been able to like, you know, actually club him to death. So yeah. I'm doing that with dogs though, by the way. So yeah. So zombie bears no longer a dangerous thingy, which in my opinion actually means we need a more tougher, more scary zombie in this game, like more tougher enemy. And my sort of proposal for the behemoth is actually therefore something I'm kind of thinking more relevant. Which is basically like this massive zombie which has a very long aggro range. So like you can easily like sneak behind, like past him. But he's basically next to invincible. Like several thousand HP will like one hit kill you. So just locking down the part of the map. But yeah. Anyways, so this is actually what I've sort of done. Let's actually just go into. I found like if you type in DM, you can actually fly right there, which is nice. I'm thinking we're gonna use a little bit of this more for cameras now. I'm not gonna use the creative menu for cheating, but at this point, I'm kind of feeling it's fine to use the debug menu to fly around to get like camera shots. So yeah, hopefully you're fine with that. So yeah, so what I basically started doing was just chop down all the trees, maybe a couple other random stuff from it. So just that looks a little better. It also dramatically increases the visibility. So you can kind of do this a bit earlier game, because initially of course I was a bit scared of like, I mean, you are going to be like rushed by zombie bears and zombie dogs. I haven't actually been that. Like so far I think it's only a single zombie dog which is actually like come relatively close to me. So it's actually fine. Vultures seem to be a problem, but they're not actually. I've also yet to be attacked by one of them. They always constantly fly over me, but for some reason they don't actually aggro. I'm not really quite sure exactly why that's the case. Like, hello, I'm right here. You're not gonna aggro to me? Apparently aren't, okay. So yeah. Then basically also of course I started like looting this like small little POI thingies here. Then what I started doing is just basically like dig out the blocks here. Now, couple things to note about them. The wasteland is actually only 2 blocks deep with crushed stone. I originally thought it was like 4 to 5 blocks, but it's actually only 2. So that's probably actually a good thing, to be honest. Snake. Really? Okay. That's the first one I've seen. I think I actually heard some though. They're kind of difficult to spot, especially in like among the rubble there. But yeah. So this of course means that like you have to like take up larger areas. Like single area won't be able to give you that much sand, but for me this is of course quite nice because that means I can actually like much more easily cover larger areas. What I actually want to do with the wasteland is like, I mean, preferably take out every single destroyed stone block in this entire world. That's always not gonna happen, but I mean I can at least start. So yeah. I also realized I'm actually inside City 2, so the POIs here I will leave alone. I did actually collapse one of those like small relic things, also one of those like brick piles. But apart from that, I probably won't like collapse anything, I'm thinking. But relatively soon we're gonna have to start actually clear looting this town here though. For sure. What is that POI over there? Right, it's the hospital. So this is actually one of those hospitals which we actually looted ones in Alpha 16. So I kind of want to take a look at this one as well, see how this POI has changed. This is zombie dogs there. Quite low zombie dogs. Oh, that's just one. Because of course like they haven't been able to do a lot more work with this, but yeah. There's also like there's some factors and stuff here as well, so yeah, you might consider doing stuff. I don't think I have no, I haven't looted one of the Shamai factories. We might try to loot this one as opposed to like the one down here. We'll see. But yeah, so initially I was unsure about exactly how like rewarding this thing is, and I'm still honestly a little unsure. It seems that you get about a 1-to-3 ratio between sand and stone. So for every piece of sand you get 3 stone. And you also get about 1,000, maybe 11 to 1,200 per minute with constant mining. So it's not that's definitely not a bad source. You get a little bit more than that from sand, which of course makes sense, but it's still a pretty decent source, and that ratio is actually pretty close to concrete mix. So, oh wait, finally. Oh, I thought you needed 2 small stones. Okay, so it's actually better for stone, which is actually kind of bad. Okay, I think 1 cement is roughly 2 stone. Because you take, okay, so it's exactly 2 stone. No, wait, sorry, I think actually each stone gives you 6. I could be wrong, but I think it gives you 6. Yeah, it must be, because like you can get like something on 2 in the end. So I think it gives you 6 stone each, so 1 cement is a little bit less than 2 stone. So it's almost, yeah, so it's almost like a 1-to-3 ratio, which actually means that like digging this stuff is basically perfect for actually getting this concrete mix, if that's what you want. So like concrete mix will just like turn into like a perfect amount of concrete mix with crushed stone will turn into a perfect amount of concrete mix without like yielding you like excess sand or stone, which seems nice. Below here is dirt. I actually thought it was going to be stone, and I learned another thing as well. The stone here is actually stone colored. So I'm a little bit confused about that, because I'm fairly certain that like previously we did actually do a digging quest over here, and I actually went back and found that the place where that was, I think it was somewhere here around. It was like I think it was that one. I went back there and actually, yeah, the stone there was also actually stone colored. And I also just like went a little bit over here as well and dug down here, and there's also stone colored there. I'm fairly certain when I dug initially, the stone was actually stone colored. And in Alpha 17, when doing a little bit like creative flying in the creative world, I did also notice that the chunks, like when they didn't load, the stone was definitely stone colored. Which is why I thought actually that the crushed stone initially went down to bedrock. And I believe actually like in earlier alpha versions they did, similar to the way like sandstone works in deserts, or worked in deserts. But seemingly right now it doesn't work that well, but yeah. Anyways though, I've been mining for about 2 hours of actual like digging, and so far I've been able to get this amount of wood. That's just from like literally chopping the area, so that's actually quite significant. I was might want to say that maybe this stuff gives you more wood than like regular trees, which also does make sense, but whatever. Quite a lot of stone and sand. Let's actually compare this right now. So yeah, it's basically perfectly a 1-to-3 ratio. A little bit less. And the concrete. So I think it's actually basically like perfectly the ratio of stone to sand in concrete mix play. Then again, of course, we just need to crush sand. We have a couple of chests full of like storage crates full of sand or stone. So yeah, this doesn't actually improve our like sand situation whatsoever, but at least it improves the concrete mix play. I have so far been able to get this amount of running flesh, so about 300 almost. So yeah. So nice, basically. Oh, actually, never mind. Click on a little more than that. Right. Yeah, it's pretty smart. Kill a couple bears already. Did put you in there as well. So yeah. I'm definitely burning for gas though, that's one thing I noticed. So okay, so progress update now. I haven't done anything more with this little side, but I have started working on this side of the road now. So got a little bit of perimeter going around here. On the road here, and I've basically taken out all of this stuff. I decided to just basically go up to the PY itself. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to take this out the stuff beneath here, but we'll figure out that later. And that's a little bit in the front here as well. At the moment, of course, I don't want to do anything to, like, say, collapse the actual structure itself, and I also want to wait a little bit with clear looting it. So, yeah, I'll just get a little bit of perimeter going around there as well, just sort of marking out what I actually want to take out and what I don't want to take out. So, yeah. Now, one other thing I realized I forgot to talk about is the roads themselves. As you can see right now, I'm also actually taking out essentially one block under, like, the side of the road there. And I've done that around the whole thing and also around this entire place here. I could, of course, collapse the roads, but I kind of decided at the moment against that, and I think maybe I found out a better solution for them, which is to keep them. So, of course, part of this project is to sort of try to make this wasteland a bit more safer to sort of travel in and also, like, you know, just generally stay. And so I found out is that if you were to, like, if you dig out, like, the first block here, zombie bears can't actually jump onto the roads, which of course means you can technically speaking like travel in a road vehicle in more or less complete safety. You only have to actually worry about the zombies that spawns on the roads. And that of course is kind of nice. Is it useful? Probably not, but I don't know, it's at least kind of nice about space. So I'll probably just leave the roads as is. At least gives us something to like travel on as well, but yeah. Now, with of course all this and stuff in mind, there is of course one question to be had, and that is if I should at one point try to build a base in the wasteland. Now, I kind of did maybe, well, for the series here, I did plan to make a secondary base in the wasteland and actually try to, like, essentially move or relocate to the wasteland. At least as it's a bit of a challenge, right, to sort of try to survive it, because I have never really been able to conquer wastelands before. Been kind of a bit scared of them too, to be honest. But I so far, of course, haven't done that. Now, I mean, the wastelands right now are just simply a joke. They are not difficult whatsoever. Yeah. I looked back into some older videos, especially from Alpha 16, and the wastelands were significantly scarier. And I actually think I found out why. That's because that, firstly, the sky was completely colored green. There was a lot more fog, and the whole wasteland looked completely gray. So right now, of course, like the crushed stone is actually quite colorful. There's a lot of like, you know, red here, there's a bunch of yellow, a bunch of other colors, which sort of makes it sort of, I think it's also warm colors, right? Which sort of makes it a little bit sort of like warmer and more pleasant. Previously, the crushed stone was completely gray, so it just looked completely gray, with no color whatsoever. And the fog and low visibility meant that, like, even, for example, here, like, you couldn't see that pink. It would be all completely, like, either sort of very green shifted or just straight up gray. So, that's one thing. Also, of course, enemy spawning is significantly reduced. Just for generally in the game, but for here as well. I realized actually one thing. That's the fact that both ferals and cops do no longer spawn in the wastelands. So that's of course two things that like makes them significantly easier. I think actually also some of the ambience is gone as well, although I think maybe the one we currently got is a bit more scary. There's sort of wind blowing. But yeah. Probably not bad. So will I actually like build a base in the wasteland? I consider maybe doing this for Alpha 20, but I think I decided against it for the simple reason that is the fog. And that's just because like visibility on YouTube is quite poor in the fog. And like visibility is a key thing when you're doing videos. So I decided to actually basically just like decide against actually building a road base in there. And given the fact that like the wasteland is such simple as it currently is, I also think there's not going to really be a challenge to actually like live here. I mean, I'm talking about living here. I'm currently just walking around with a club and I'm easily able to survive. Living behind a massive concrete bunker is going to be just honestly overkill. So yeah, right here says like creepy noises, but so yeah. Anyway, so I'll continue working a little bit on it. One thing for us to note though is I'll probably try to go like earlier into the wasteland in Alpha 20 if I need sand, for example. I found that this is a fairly decent like source of sand. Did a little bit of testing. It turns out you get 8 sand per block and 24 stone. That's basically set, and it seems like they even be harder code in such a way, because like even with the chainsaw. Okay, I just hit the box there. There's a problem. Broken line. Even with a chainsaw, you also get 8 and 24. So that's actually kind of interesting to note. So one thing I really like wanted this game to have is that every single block gives you a set amount of resources, regardless which tool you use. Because that was a big pain in Alpha 16, where like when I got the level 600, I think pickaxes as opposed to the level 550 or 550, I was able to like go from more. I think it was the last skill. Yeah, it was probably the last skill which did it, but you could also like replicate with a 550 pick. When I got a last level, I was able to go from a 2-shot to a 1-shot of stone. Now, that of course doubled my mining speed, but it actually halved my resource gain. Or was like the same, because you still got the exact same amount of resources per hit, but of course each block would only take a single hit, so you would actually get half the amount of resources per block. Which was kind of annoying. For some of course it doesn't really matter. You did quite a lot of iron though, so I gave up quite a lot of iron for it, but still kind of fun. But I just didn't like it, so have I fixed it? I'm gonna actually try at one point just to like grab some other pickaxes or something, maybe just one in and like test some blocks to see if they actually done that. Because that would be kind of spam. Anyways though, I'll go and... Yeah, so you get 8 per block here. I tried with sand, you get 18 per block, it turns out. So it's not actually that bad. Just actually show you. I think it was 18, right? Yeah, so 18 sand. So it is about like, it's a bit worse than half. And it's also, I think it has a slower mining speed too. Oh, hello. Johnson's doing that. That's another thing like teleporting away, you actually get zombie bear spawning. Hello. Could you please give me some rotten flesh? Actually, wait, can I just jump on top of him? Okay. Dude, I wanna headshot you. This is so stupid. Oh, wow. Wait, what is up with those eyes? What the? Is there just a single eye texture in this game and there's just like some random... Wait, do they actually have those eyes? What the? It's kind of like placeholders. Yeah. So the enemies in the wasteland is a joke. Like you barely find zombie bears. I'm actually legitimately struggling to find zombie dogs, like zombie dogs even. The vultures don't do anything. The zombie bears are of course kind of sketchy, and that of course you can't outrun a meter, which is of course the thing, but at least late game, like they are not a threat whatsoever. Like you can even, well, you can't club them because you lose stamina, but well, you could probably like have some sort of like stamina giving drink in your offhand and just switch between them mid-fight, because you can probably tank a bunch of them. So yeah. So I definitely feel like the fact that like cops no longer spawn and also ferals don't no longer spawn, it's kind of like the two big things I feel. But also, well, I'm actually quite sure about like temperature stuff because I don't really know stuff. Yeah. Anyways, gonna go and do a bunch more digging. I'm going to be digging here for the rest of this day, 104 as well as half of 105. The only thing we need to do at the main base or the horde base is just to place the wall hatches on the, like in the shotgun towers. I think that's the only thing we need to do actually to get that base up running. So yeah, I can spend basically all that as well. Yeah.